Welcome back, guys. Glad to see you could make it. Anyway, we have, what do they call it? A Master Crafters clock. And this one is kind of unique because it has the boy and the girl swinging. But how boring maybe the grass looks. This is the clock, and someone cut out a green piece of paper, I guess we'll say. One way to upgrade that is to go online and look for, just type in grass pictures or something of that sort, images, and I found this. I printed it out on the Kodak paper or any printing paper, and I can put that in there and upgrade it. So on the back of this clock, in my words, it doesn't have a real motor in it. You can tell by this line here, it doesn't have the imprint of a motor, but it does have a motor in it. I call it cheaper motor. But let's get into this and I'll show you what I'm talking about. First thing we have to do is take out these 4 screws. I don't know if this will fit or not. Oh, it does. So you take those 4 out. This switch will still be hooked up to the wiring, and this here cord, you just slip out once you pull this out a little ways. And there you go. So on here you can see where they just cut the paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can get that paper to come off. And then that way I'll have a template without having to make my own template. Taking it out wasn't as successful as I was hoping. They really used some good glue in there. So I got a ballpark of what needs to be cut out. And so what I'm going to do is the front I'm going to cut bigger and then do a test fit and bring it in and out. Also, I'm not as big as what's inside there, but it does hide in to the back. So let me get that thing carved out and see how things work out. So far I fitted up in, I did just the front part. I'm covering up the yuck that was there before. And now all I have to do is draw the outline here, and I'll have the clock ready to go. You see how it looks halfway decent there? And so this line you're drawing here, you want to go to the inside a little bit so it's not sticking out of this. So here we have it. Looks like I could trim it maybe a little bit more there. Might have to be moved over a little bit one way or another. But once it's either glued in or just leave it set the way it is, that kind of looks nicer. And of course, you have this as the background. The glue's kind of starting to come off that picture, but who touches the picture? So to come back in here, these kids will say they can come off. Usually it can come off without, the girl's coming off, I think. There we go. You can see they have hooks that just catch on to them, and these do slide up and down. Now, myself, this is natural. It might be a little bit dirty, but it's natural. If you like that blue dress and want to doll it up more, because you notice by her hair that paint didn't get all the way through, If you want to get better detail, paint it, it's yours. If you like the way it is, that's fine. You can see the boys slid up. They are hollow on the back side. Just slide it back down. So if you like the boys' color of his shirt and socks, fine. If you want to paint it, you just go for it. Otherwise, you might be able to scrub these up a little bit with a toothbrush and soap and water and make them fresh again, I guess we'll say. Now, when it comes to this motor here, of course, I'm sure this probably needs oil because to start this clock, sometimes you have to plug it in, unplug it, plug it in until the actual clock starts. I do have a spare motor here, but realistically there's usually only one thing that goes bad in these, and that's inside here. I'm not going to take this one apart, but there's a plastic gear in there towards the bottom, I guess we'll say. I don't know if I can show it to you or not with this camera. It's not showing. Anyway, there's a plastic gear in there, and usually that gear is wore out, and so you have to buy a replacement gear for them. And anything replacement on these type of clocks is not cheap. Here, let me show you. There is a guy online on eBay that's selling just that one plastic gear for $16. And free shipping. Whoa. So anyway, you can order those. So you're going to add another $16 to your clock. Or if you've had this clock forever and it stopped, there's a good chance. Take a look. You have to take this thing apart and see if that gear needs to be replaced or if you just need to oil this thing. And I found usually this type, when you have it laying down, all the gears pretty much pop back in where they're supposed to go. You might have to do a little bit of maneuvering to get it on there. And also when you take it apart, this piece here will come off by taking those two screws off, and this gear here pops out of the mechanism there, and so that way you can get just that there. Now they do sell just the motor if you have the right one. Now this is going to cost you. This guy, I think it's the same place, wants $35 for the motor, and it's $8.06 shipping. A bit high, but if you love whatever clock you have, then maybe it's worth buying the motor if you don't want to buy just that one gear like I showed you a few seconds ago. And it's already all put together, so all you have to do is just slap it in there. Otherwise, when you take your motor apart, pay attention to where the gears are. Take pictures or whatever you can do so you can get this thing back together again. There is a arrow looking piece that clicks, or that's made for this clock to only run one way. It stops it and makes it run the other way. So just pay attention where that's located, just for a heads up. Like I say, this one's working. I'm gonna, realistically you can't oil it unless you take it apart. There's only a couple places by the looks of it you can oil. The rest of them are behind these plugs here, and these plugs are not meant to really take out because I think you'll ruin your clock. Okay, you can scream and holler if you want. Just remember, this is my clock and I don't plan on selling it. I'm going to keep it. I've already got one with a blue dress. I want a red dress on her. So So let me get it painting this and try to get it better than what they've got, and see if we can dress this thing up. So when you put the 4 screws back in, just remember this is an old clock. It's going into a plastic peg, so snug them. Don't screw them in tight or you'll break the peg off. Are you ready for the reveal? I didn't glue this down. I just wanted to show you what it looks like. There we go. So there you go. Like I say, I always wanted a red dress on the gal. Got it. And so I'm totally thrilled with this. And I also switched the boy to the other side and the girl to the other side as well. I don't know if I'm going to like that, but so far it doesn't matter. They're swinging. So anyway, thank you guys for stopping in. Don't forget to give me a like. And also, remember, subscribe because it's free. Nothing's better than free nowadays. And if you'd like to leave me a comment, just say hi. I'd appreciate it. And I might not be able to answer all the comments, but I do read them all, and I'll try to give you at least a thumbs up or a heart on them. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. Until next time, God bless.